Greetings, gamers, and welcome to part 4 of my Let's Play Fire Emblem 9 Path of Radiance. And in today's episode, I am going to be continuing on forward and dealing with all of these yahoos. I don't think it's necessary for me to shove Ike, since he will reach her in the next turn anyhow. So I guess best thing to do would be to just start taking out these mongrels. Very nice, Titania. Very nice. And another vulnerary, though not all that useful in the grand scheme of things. Ooh, they're not KOing you. I guess this will be good enough. We could also crit. Would be nice, Shinon. No. No crits for him. And that's my turn. Alright, enemies. What have you got? Looks like a whole lot of nothing. Yeah, so he's prioritizing Shinon because Marcia can attack back, even though Shinon is far and away bulkier. Nice hit. Nice hit. The smart thing to do about one tile wide corridors is to leave yourself in such a way that only one ranged attacker can hit you. Like, for instance, in Gatry's current position. And then everybody else who's one range, even two range, has to attack you.
Oh, crackers. There's too many of them. I don't want to die here. Brother, this might be the end.
Hey, are you alright?
So cold. So... Huh?
Don't give up.
Who are you?
I'm a mercenary. The villagers hired us to get rid of these pirates.
Are you going to help me?
Of course. Let me and my companions take it from here. You can escape while the pirates are distracted.
Oh, hey, that would be fantastic. Thanks so much. I don't know what to say.
You don't have to say anything. It's all in a day's work.
Pshaw. You're helping me out. I should show my gratitude somehow.
That's, nice, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Just get yourself somewhere safe, please.
Well then, I'll come talk to you about repaying my debt later. What's your name, handsome?
I'm Ike. I'm with the Grail Mercenaries.
Ike, got it. And I'm Marcia, a Pegasus Knight of Begnion. Don't forget me. Alright, I'll be seeing you later.
And off she flies. Let's equip the Iron Sword. Actually use up a little bit of vulnerability. It kind of seems that useless in a way. But I assure you, it can actually be quite useful. Alright, Titania. Go ahead and strike this enemy down. We don't need any more hand axes from him. But we do need one on her. That's nice. Hand axes are pretty good in this game, especially late game when your units have way more skill and can hit more often, especially supports factored in. Titania is good with it, granted, but it's not the greatest of weapons, if you really think about it in the grand scheme of things. Alright. Shinon, taking you out. Perfect. Would have been nicer if Gatry could do that, but I think we're going to have Gatry actually attack the hand axe wielder up yonder. Yeah, you're only doing 2 damage, guy. Trade that hand axe for a hammer. You might do 5 or 10. Oh, a miss. We both dodged. Pretty intriguing stuff. I love this chapter, because even though you don't have healing, which is something I do enjoy in Fire Emblem, it is awesome having this assortment of units for this kind of a map, and being able to tackle it in interesting ways, I would say.
Yarr, you're busting me good, you rudderless fool. Do you truly think you can face me mighty axe and live?
Well, Hiveti, I think I can face your mighty axe and live. In fact, I think next turn we're going to be KOing you and your buffoon over there. Ooh, somebody actually hit Titania for once? Nice. I'm impressed. We might be able to KO Hiveti with... definitely not. Not unless we attack him first with some softening up. Best to do that with Titania, I suppose? 26, that's going to leave 7 damage. Should be fine. As long as we don't crit here. If we crit, you know, she steals the experience points and we call it a day. Alright, Hiveti. You're about defeated. 13 times 2 on you. Would be nice if he crit. Yes, very nice, Shinon. Very nice. Don't need the experience points per se, but... especially because he only got 2 there, but... what's it hurt? What's it hurt to be hopeful, right? And jab this lance straight into this pirate. Goodbye, pirate scum. Gatry doing his work as he is supposed to. I appreciate your job. Armor Knights are underrated, in my opinion. They're not great. I understand that. Most of the times they're not great. But still. Give back what you've stolen from the good folk here and set sail. Yar har har har! Now I know you're tetched in the head, lassie. We show 'em our axes and say arr, and the golden grub come raining down. We'll not be giving this up. I see. Looks like we'll have to rely on force of arms then. Yar, arr, arr, help me. That was another issue of the localization team. That should have said laddie, not lassie. And I meant to correct that too. In the actual voice lines there, but sometimes you have slip-ups, right? We've driven off all the pirates. Your people will suffer no more indignities at their hands. Oh, that is joyful news. Here is your pay as promised. Thank you very much. And if you find yourself in need again, do not hesitate to send word. Of course, of course. All of you put on a most marvelous show. Such combat skills. To be honest, I was expecting Commander Grail to be here today. When I saw just you, nothing more than, no offense, a band of children, well, I will admit to being a tad nervous. I apologize for troubling you. Unfortunately, Commander Grail had other pressing matters to attend to. Oh no, don't apologize. There's no need, after all. You got rid of those brigands, and you did it impeccably well. It's a fine compliment you pay, sir. But it was our pleasure. As a matter of fact, if you're more than good enough to be in the Royal Army if you so desired, especially your Commander Grail, he's far and away better than most any general I've seen hereabouts. What I mean to say is, don't you think running off pirates is a bit beneath you? That's not. Don't get me wrong now, you certainly helped us all out simple folk, but even so, it seems to me the proper place for you and your Commander Grail is the service of the Crimean throne. Well, that's what this old man thinks. We and the Commander Grail are quite satisfied with the work we do now. You've nary a selfish bone among you. Well then, rest assured, we'll speak again if any problems arise. Thank you again. Titania, is something amiss? No, of course not. Our mission is complete, and that's all that matters. You did well today, every one of you. Ha! Jobs like this barely make a dent in my incurable boredom. It's like that old buzzard said, there's better work out there, something with a bit of challenge. Shinon. I'm joking. J-O-K-ing. Come, Titania, be honest. Don't you find the work we do to be a bit disheartening, unglamorous? What, you too, Gatry? What's gotten into you?
Please, look, we're not a band of money-hungry recruits. We're professionals, and we're very good at what we do. Sinan and I have discussed this at length. All of this mundane mercenary work is unworthy of us. We're wasting our talents.
I see. You're telling me that you think Commander Grail is mismanaging us. Do I have that right?
Whoa, hold it right there. That's not what I'm saying at all.
What is it, Titania? What's what? You seem so angry. It's not like you.
Exactly, Ike's got the right of it.
It's just that Look, we do good work and we help people. I want you to be proud of that. I felt like you were saying work that doesn't bring fame and fortune isn't worth doing, that's all. Sorry.
No, you're right. We are the ones who want to apologize.
Enough. Let's get going, shall we? Rest is part of our jobs, too. We can't go into the next battle exhausted.
Now that's a plan. I'm so hungry I could eat a wyvern.
Titania? What is it? If you're looking for pride, I have it. You and my father have kept this mercenary group together, and I'm just proud to be a part of it, that's all. Ike.
Ha! I'm surrounded by idealistic fools. What's so wrong with fame? What's so wrong with having money to live well?
If it's your only goal, there's something wrong with that, friend. A lot of folks don't know that, do they?
Chapter 4, Roadside Battle. Mercenary Fort. Again.
Ike, I've got something to tell you. Listen to this.
Settle down, Mist. It's too early for you to be yelling like that. Now, what's going on?
Soren's back. He just arrived.
Really? That's odd. He wasn't supposed to return for a while yet.
I know. I wonder what he's doing back so soon.
It's probably nothing to worry about. I'll go talk with him. Where is he?
In the mess hall. I think he wanted to talk to Father.
Right, I'll go check there. Troubling news. Indeed. Gather the troops.
Yes, Commander.
Ike, if you've got time to waste, you've got time to work. Get over to the briefing room. Yes, sir. Hey, what's going on around here? Bad news. Something big is happening, and we need to formulate a plan of action. Soren. Hello, Ike. Long time no see. I'm happy to see you're back.
But what happened? I thought you were going to be studying for a while longer.
It's a long story. What's the holdup? Get over here now. Let's go. I'll fill you in later. You probably remember that Soren's been training with another mercenary group. Well, he's back now. And he has some unbelievable news.
What news is that?
It's Crimea and Daein. They've gone to war.
War? It can't be.
That's why I've called everyone here. Soren has some more information. Go ahead, Soren. All right. Take a look at this map. Ah, it's a map of Crimea, quite detailed from the look of it. Yes, this is Melior, Crimea's capital. Our base of operations is right about here. Everything started 3 days ago. I needed to do some research, so I went to the archives of Melior's royal library. Without warning, the scream of a terrible beast, a wyvern perhaps, rent the air, and the building was rocked by a tremor. I rushed outside and saw wave after wave of knights, cavalry, and wyvern riders, each clad in glistening ebon armor, black as night. The Daein army? Correct. Was there provocation? As you know, relations between Crimea and Daein have never been friendly. However, the past centuries have seen only minor skirmishes, nothing that has ever approached the scale of this attack. It was brutal and without warning. Daein laid the capital to waste. I've never seen destruction on this scale before.
A swift attack, devastating and brutal. A daring gambit indeed.
But if it succeeds, a very well chosen one at that. Yes, the King of Daein would not hesitate to employ such treacherous tactics. What happened next? King Crimea's brother deployed the Crimean army to meet the attack. The king ordered his people to flee the city before the battle reached them. Fearing the worst, I also fled and made my way here. So we don't know how the tides of battle flow now, do we? That's all right. Word of the war cannot have traveled far yet. We may well be the first ones who know of it out here. You did well to bring us this information, Soren. I know some risk was involved. It was nothing. Daein has invaded Crimea. We may be mercenaries, but this still affects us. What are we going to do? That's the question of the day. How do you see it, Titania? Crimea is the closest thing our company has to a homeland. The Crimean royal family and noble houses have been generous, providing us with many lucrative jobs. From a moral standpoint, as well as a business one, it's in our best interest to help Crimea. And you, Soren? I agree on one point. We are mercenaries. We are not Crimea's private militia. No coin has crossed our palms, so I think we should stay out of it. So you would have us sit and watch as Crimea is overrun? I would. Daein's troops are superior in both numbers and morale. The chances of a Crimean victory are slim indeed. But Crimea is ruled by King Raymond, who is known throughout the land for his wisdom, and his brother, Duke Renning, is said to possess peerless valor and courage. Daein may not find victory so easily. Valor and courage are for children's tales. In terms of military prowess, Daein's king Ashnard is every bit Lord Renning's equal. Victory will hinge on troop numbers and supplies, and Daein is superior in both. I think the outcome is painfully obvious. Curse you, Soren. Crimea is not doomed. If they can turn aside Daein's initial thrust and turn it into a test of endurance. With the Crimean army both demoralized and ill-prepared, they simply will not be able to hold out for that long. All right, that's enough, both of you. I hear what you say. However, we must ascertain the current situation before we decide on any action. We'll send a scouting party to get a closer look at Melior. Ike, I want you in charge of this. Assemble your men and get going. What? Me? Titania will accompany you as an advisor. Commander, you must be joking. He's just a boy, and he's had barely more than a taste of battle. What do you expect a whelp like him to accomplish? Ah, Shinan, since you're so concerned, you can go as well. Wait, that's not what I... Blast. Who else? Gatry, Rise, and Soren. That should do. Father, wait. Why do you want me? That was an order. Get moving. There's no time to waste. Yes, sir. Titania, I'm going out for a bit. I want you to give Ike some direction. Understood. Yes, sir.
Ike, wait up.
What?
Here, this is for you.
You got the regal sword. A sword? Where did you get it?
From Father. He told me to come and give it to you.
It's beautiful.
This is the first sword you've gotten that wasn't a hand-me-down from somebody, isn't it? That's great.
Yeah.
Well, be careful. Oh, and bring me a souvenir. Something nice. I've never been to Melior before.
Mist, I'm not going on vacation. Sheesh. Capital Way. I wonder how far away this is from actual Melior capital. Would be interesting to know that fact. But I don't believe the game gives you any indication of that whatsoever. Are you feeling all right, Ike? You haven't said a word in quite some time. I don't understand what my father's doing. Why put a new recruit like me in charge of something so important? You're going to succeed him as our commander one day. Don't you think he wants you to know how to lead? Me? I don't know if I'm capable. And even if I am, that day's a long way off, right? I mean, I'm inexperienced, weak. I'm nothing compared to my father. I'm not so sure about that. When I look at you, I see a young man full of promise. Commander Grail is a great man, but I think you'll be every bit his equal. In time, you might even surpass him. Don't be ridiculous. It's just my opinion. You need not pay it any mind. Yet, if you fear you...
You need, it's just my opinion. You need not pay it any mind. Can we start, like, pounding that into modern people's minds? Yeah, sorry for the interruption, but man, that's funny. Yet if you fear your own weakness, why not take this chance to go out and better yourself? That would be more in keeping with your personality, no? I suppose you're right. How did things look over there, Soren? Same as here. There are corpses strewn everywhere. There are quite a lot of them, especially when you consider how far we are from the capital. Are they Crimean? Judging by the armor, the vast majority of the dead are Daein soldiers. So Crimea has the upper hand? Just the opposite, I think. The Crimean soldiers were members of the Imperial Guard. That means King Raymond, or another member of the royal family, was on the move when Daein soldiers fell on them. Could it have been Lord Renning? No. As long as the Crimean army still draws breath, Lord Renning will not leave their command. Perhaps another member of the court. We've got Daein soldiers moving in our location, and they don't look happy. You there. Who are you? What are you doing here?
We're no one you need.
You're armed. Heed me. Drop your weapons and surrender. Act quickly or else. Listen to me, fool. You're making a mistake. We're not... Ah, not going to cooperate, eh? Ready your weapons, men. Move in and kill them all.
Headstrong fools.
Getting caught up in some skirmish is not part of the plan. But they're obviously not going to listen to us. Grail mercenaries, get ready to fight. And that's a boatload of enemies. Alright, Ike. Let's see how you handle the role of captain. Well, what are your orders, boy? We'll do what you say, so long as you hurry up and spit it out. I know, I'm thinking. Give me a moment, will you, Shannon? Bah, useless. We'd be better off led with mist than this soft, untested whelp. Kind of harsh. Alright, so item management. For the most part, looks kind of fine. I think what I'm going to do, though, is give over a sword to Soren. Maybe a second sword. The steel sword for the time being, because we've got the regal sword, which is only marginally weaker by exactly 1 damage, but it has far and away more hit, has crit, is lighter to wield, and it says the sword Ike received from his father. It's light and easy to wield, only Ike can wield it. The interesting thing about this is it doesn't say exactly what it is capable of, but it is effective against knight and armor units. So let's go ahead and equip that sword. Titania, you can give over one of your vulneraries. It would be nice if Ike had a little bit more self-healing. I think this is pretty good. So Boyd and Oscar are with Commander Grail right now, which is kind of interesting. I think this is relatively the way I want to have this troop positioned, I suppose. Yeah. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and save. There will come a time, as I have mentioned before, that I am going to be cutting out entirely all of the managing of units. Now, granted, important stuff I will still leave in, like for instance promotions or skills that I give to units, but for the most part I'm going to be cutting all that out. It's probably going to come sometime after I turn off animations, which shall be next chapter, very unfortunately, for anybody who was wondering. So, first and foremost, let's put Ike here. I like taking a defensive position first, as it just makes a lot of sense. I do believe, yes, he can reach, so we're going to put you here. Alright, nice dodge, Ike. Nice dodge. Wouldn't have mattered so much if he didn't dodge, because I would have just healed him up, you know? Perfect. Go ahead and do your 0 damage times 2 to Gatry. Armor Knights are useful for something. Maybe not a lot of things, but they are useful for something. Ooh, nice damage. Wow. Doubling? Gatry, get out of town. Alright, Titania, obviously you're going to take out this guy. Iron Axe is all you need in the early game with her. She is quite the beast of a unit. Alright. Lots of enemies swarming our position. This is why I like taking a defensive tact here. I think it's just smarter, all in all. Now, of course, I won't be keeping this defensive tact. That is for certain. However, I have a new unit. Soren. Soren. He is the first mage on your team, magic-wielding warriors who can attack enemies both near and far. Their constitution and defense levels are poor. Yes, that is true, but actually, Soren doesn't have all that bad of base defense, considering he's a level 1 mage. 2 base defense, not totally terrible. Not great, either. But he is a mage that focuses primarily on wind at the start, and that is mostly due to the fact that that's pretty well all you have. I do believe we got a fire tome recently. Is that so? No, I actually don't think that's so. But his base stats are kind of trash. In my humble opinion, Soren's base stats are really, really lackluster. 6 base magic, not that great. But he can grow into a mighty unit, because he has 45% HP growth, 5% strength, hilarious, 60% magic, 55% skill, 40% speed, 30% luck, 15% defense, and 55% resistance. This man can become a very competent and very viable combative unit, especially once you promote him to a sage. Granted, I will not be using him in the long term for this playthrough. However, I will be using him for his early game chip damage, since most enemies do not have good resistance. Something you can relatively see just at a glance from all of these enemies. He comes with a D rank in wind, an E in fire, and an E in thunder. The D rank in wind is not really all that great. It means that he can use wind and Elwind, and that's it. But the E rank in fire and thunder put him at such a disadvantage if you're wanting to use either of those that it's kind of baffling. Now, granted, Soren does have some very good qualities outside of just the fact that he has relatively great growths, especially on that 60% magic. He also comes with a personal skill, Adept. In certain conditions, grants this unit 2 consecutive attacks. I believe this is attack speed percentage chance. It's either that or it's speed percentage chance. It might be speed. I don't think it's attack speed. It's not based on attack speed in this game. It's based on speed in general. So he has an 8% chance to just attack again, which is pretty good. For my purposes, he's really just a slinger of chip damage. Alright. Doesn't really matter who we take out here. Yeah, unfortunately, one thing I will complain about, and like I've said before, I don't like being the negative guy here, but I'm not really a big fan of the way the wind tomes look in this game. Alright. Let's take out a Steel Lance Wielder. You want to take out as many of these Steel Lance Wielders as possible because they pose a large threat to Ike. Granted, and this is very important to note here, I put Ike in this bottom position here so that he can only get attacked by 1 unit at a time. for good reason. And let's see. Of course, it would be better to use the Iron Lance for hit, but it's not much more hit, being honest. Steel Lance would be better for chipping down these enemies, for certain. And I believe that's the first level up with Gatry? Yes, because he is base 10. Or base level 9. Now he's level 10. Alright, so what I'm going to have to do here, which is kind of a shame. And then I have to shove Rise back. Now what this allows me to do is it allows me to take this guy out with Shinon, but not with Ike. Nice crit and KO. Very good. And that is my turn. One of the Steel Lance... Oh no, an Iron Lance soldier. Very nice. Keep me from taking a ton of damage there. And Gatry over here, doubling. It's always funny to watch an Armor Knight double anything, right? In my humble opinion, I think it's very funny. Alright. A little bit of damage there, not so great. I'll be taking out both of these archers next turn, for certain. There shouldn't be anybody else who can attack Ike. Yeah, I didn't think so. There are some Javelin users in this chapter, I believe. Alright, so with that being said, I think this is a perfect opportunity for me to cut this episode off, bid my farewells. I want to thank you for joining me. If you like my content, please upvote and follow, or like and subscribe depending on your platform. And while you're at it, have a great and glorious day gaming.